And just like that, Premier League football is back. It's game week 4 and it doesn't get any bigger than Arsenal taking on Tottenham. As per usual, let's go on another lap of the stadium and we'll preview how Arsenal are obviously going to batter their North London rivals. Game week 4 approaches and Arsenal, who should have had a 100% record, find themselves only on 7 points. A weird red card for Declan Rice and a slightly out of character performance going down to 10 men meant Brighton took the points last time out. But we're back. We've had an international break, 2 weeks off, although it hasn't gone as swimmingly as I thought it would. But we're back. We had a 2-week international break to give the players some time to regroup, although any Arsenal fan will tell you it's not gone as swimmingly as we first thought. Injuries for Norway's Martin Ødegaard, captain of our club, is proving to be a real problem for us in the middle of the park. Equally, a rare calf injury to Ricardo Calafiori, nearly said Carvalho there, Calafiori, takes him out of the game at the back, left back as well. So Arsenal are going to find themselves a little shy of players, and it's yet to be seen what we do in that kind of central midfield three. Mikel Merino injured, Declan Rice out with a red card ban for 1 game, and possibly Ødegaard being out. Arteta did keep everything close to his chest in terms of whether he'd be available on Sunday, but in reality I just don't think you come back from that injury, even if it's not that serious in the first instance. The big question for me is whether Spurs' midfield can cope with any of the replacements that come in. There is a world in which you start Jorginho or Thomas Partey and maybe even Ethan Nwaneri on debut. That's right, the youngest Premier League player ever who got his debut at 15, might get his first start for Arsenal in one of the biggest games of his career, I guess. Equally, there is a world in which you pull back Leandro Trossard or Kai Havertz to kind of fill that creative midfielder gap that's been left by Smith Rowe leaving to Fulham, Fabio Vieira going back to Porto, and the injury obviously to Ødegaard himself. But it's only possible to bring back Trossard or Havertz from that striker position if Gabriel Jesus is fit again, and if a Raheem Sterling, who has had an extra 2 weeks to train with Arsenal, is hungry and ready to go. The noise coming out of the press conference on Friday was pretty healthy from Arteta, talking about how happy he was with Sterling's attitude since coming to the club and how it was an absolute dead cert that he would sign on transfer deadline day. And I think that I'm trying to work out whether it's shop talk or whether, quite honestly, we've got a Raheem Sterling who is fit, ready to go, and back to being the player he was at Man City, more than the maybe failed experiment at Chelsea. For me, within this fixture, what needs to happen is a lot of outballs for Arsenal and a lot of pace in the attack. And that will come via Gabriel Martinelli, Raheem Sterling if he's fully up to pace, and Gabriel Jesus being able to run against defenders and really hold the ball up well. So if those three are back, I would be very comfortable with Havertz or Trossard coming back into that midfield three and maybe keeping Ethan Nwaneri's powder dry. At time of recording, I know that Liverpool have lost to Nottingham Forest. Sorry for any spoilers for anyone wanting to watch Match of the Day. Equally, I know that Brighton have dropped points at home against Ipswich, so 2 fantastic results for the Arsenal. However, Man City are ploughing on with wins, and I think going into the North London derby, Arsenal do need to secure all 3 points for it to be a worthwhile day out. But much as the weather has changed this week before game day, so has the attitudes within Arsenal, and I think people are a little bit fearful that we will drop points. I think personally Spurs look pretty pedestrian this season, and the pressure really should be on them at the Tottenham Stadium. As if they lose tomorrow, it's 4 points from 4 games, and surely, hearing Postecoglou in his pre-match kind of media coverage, he said he doesn't see this game as any different to any other, which, to be frank, is quite disappointing. He's a new manager who obviously has managed at Celtic and knows what it is to have a good rivalry, but for whatever reason he's dumbed down this game to be just any other league fixture. I do wonder how long it is until Spurs fans turn on Big Ange if he can't get the results in, especially against their biggest rivals at home, when Arsenal might be a little bit depleted in the middle of the park. Arsenal will know that they need to set a foundation in this game before they go to Man City next weekend. That surely is a must-win tie if you want to stay in the league title, which is kind of crazy, only 4 or 5 games into a season. But that's just how big that gap could be. If Arsenal don't get a result against Spurs and then don't get a result against City, they could find themselves 7 points behind after 5 games, which, I don't know, that's pretty hard to claw back against a team like City at the moment, especially with Haaland in fantastic form. On a personal level, I am very much looking forward to this fixture. It's been a huge international break for my family. I'm lucky enough to live right outside this stadium, and my daughter has learnt to ride a bike in the last 2 weeks, which is fantastic, as any fathers out or mothers out there will know. It's a pretty important time when your kids do that. And just as she's growing and enjoying the Arsenal, I want to make sure that we get the results within the stadium as well. And I know going up to Tottenham's never easy, but I am predicting Arsenal to get a win there. I don't think it'll be a big win, and I don't think it'll be that secure, but I am fully expecting Arsenal to get something along the lines of a 2-1 or a 3-1, depending on how leaky that Tottenham defence is. If you are new around here, make sure you like and subscribe this video, click the notification bell, and do let me know in the comments whether you're an Arsenal fan, a Tottenham fan, or anything else, and what your prediction is for the game this weekend. It's bound to be one of the biggest games of the season in a rivalry that's unparalleled nowadays in the Premier League. I think Arsenal have a great chance, and I'm looking forward to it completely, although you just never know what's going to happen on that derby day itself.